Insulin infusion is indicated in those who are not conscious, patient in septic shock, critically ill patient, surgery, other surgeries indicated, or patient is in diabetic emergencies, hyperglycemic emergencies, DK, and hyperglycemic hyperosmolar state. We have to advise insulin infusion. Insulin infusion is made 50 units of regular insulin mixed with 50 ml of NS, and then we have to give if we the sugars are 200, we calculate it as 200 divided by 100 to 2 ml per hour, or 350 3.5 ml per hour. Target blood sugar we keep in those who are on IV infusion 140 to 220. Once the patient stabilizes and vomitings are controlled and patient is able to eat, we can switch over to basal bolus regime. Management of COVID patient in ICU, again oxygen therapy via non-invasive ventilation, high flow nasal cannulation, intubation we have to ready. If the patient is not tolerating NIV or the oxygen is not maintaining or patient is in hypotension, so intubation is indicated. In sepsis, septic shock, features are tachycardia, patient is hypotensive, and despite absence of hypovolemia, patient serum lactate is more than 2. Patient is an altered sensorium, warm peripheries are there with bounding pulses. Consider the patient in shock, send cultures, and then give IV fluid to treat hypotension. If not controlled, vasopressor support. Acute kidney injury is very commonly seen in COVID patients in the ICU, and the reasons could be sepsis, hypovolemia, and use of nephrotoxic drugs, or the patient is already having impaired renal function. Prevention is we have to monitor the serum creatinine, urine output. We have to hydrate the patient properly to maintain the cardiac output as well and avoid the nephrotoxic drugs. Summary is hospitalization is required in moderate and severe COVID disease patients, and corticosteroid anticoagulant therapy are mainstay in the management of COVID-19 patients in ICU. Monitoring of blood sugar in patients on steroid treatment, and watch for the secondary infections and acute renal injury, and adequate diet is to be ensured in COVID-19 patients. Last but not the least, wear a mask, face cover, practice frequent hand washing, use hand sanitizers, maintain the social distancing. If there is development of any symptoms or there is a history of contact, self-isolate, and if there is any symptoms, then take the medical advice. This is usually from the previous experiences, mainly meant for the Delta. As we all know, Delta caused hypoxia, respiratory pneumonias. Omicron, till now we are crossing our fingers. It is causing mild upper respiratory tract symptoms. And the latest treatment is now available is like for the Omicron, molnupiravir, but it has safety concerns. So right now, I am not advising the patients who are taking tele-OPD from me. And symptomatically we are treating and they are recovering also. And the other therapies are like, for me, remdesivir, I will prefer if I have to give the antiviral. For me, this is injection remdesivir. And there are recommendations also in case of mild infection and the patient is comorbid. Like we have one patient with us in case of aplastic anemia with a TLC of 900. Earlier we did his RAT, came negative. We repeated after 4 days because he was having itching in the throat and mild cough, it came positive. And so we have to shift that patient to, right now we are not treating patients here, and we have to shift to this SRN hospital for further management. But really, I felt so bad. Already patient of aplastic anemia having platelet count of 10,000, only blood 6, and having COVID-19 positive also. Patient was on immunosuppressive drugs, cyclosporin, anabol, and steroids. How to do? So in such situations, if the symptoms are mild, because the patient was maintaining saturation, there was no high-grade fever, we can advise remdesivir for 3 days. It is indicated. On moderate to severe, within 10 days of the onset of symptoms, remdesivir should be given. Foreign countries, they are using monoclonal antibodies, which was effective in the Delta, but not in Omicron. In Omicron, so Trovimab is one of the monoclonal antibody, which is given in single dose, but has to hospitalize IV. It has seen beneficial effects. Moreover, Paxlovid, combination of it is difficult to remember, ritonavir and ritonavir boosted nirmatrelvir. It is oral, has to be taken twice a day for 5 days. And these drugs we can give above the age of 12 years in mild cases to prevent progression from mild to severe. And how do we, if the patient is at home, how we decide the patient is progressing from mild to severe? Saturation and how the fever is going, and breathlessness, other symptoms as well. So if saturation is 93%, it is indicated. Molnupiravir 93%, but above the age of 18 and 5 days, literature says there is no risk of cartilage and bone damage. Otherwise, if we give for long-term basis, it causes, but even then, it has safety concerns. Molnupiravir right now. Thank you.